everyone, and welcome to the match preview. Sunderland are travelling to Everton for the second time this season. Taff, how are you feeling ahead of this game? Are you feeling optimistic? Are you feeling concerned? Do you think this is a chance for 3 points? Do you think we should take the draw? Does it really matter? Because I think our European dream is probably over at this point, though if we win this game, maybe it's not dependent on other results. But how are you feeling?
Well, we're not getting into Europe. There are too many variables that need to happen for us to crawl into eighth space, so we're not getting that. But I do care because my £40 pre-season bet at 33 to 1 is dependent on getting 10th place or higher. So there's everything to play for. I'm sat in for £1,200 in winnings. If we can scrape out 2 wins here and get ourselves a guaranteed 10th place or above. So it matters to me. Yeah. I know the players won't care about that. I mean, to what extent will they be on the beach? I don't think so. I think they'll still think there's an outside chance of Europe. I think they'll want to finish strongly. I think it will have been said to them that 10th is the best that we've done in the Premier League. They'd love to finish 9th and do that first time out. And lots of them, as young players, are playing to get noticed, aren't they? Playing for their futures. But a lot of them are going to the World Cup, so who knows? I think we'll go there and we'll give a good account of ourselves. I'm not so sure that will be good enough to win, though. It's going to be difficult.
I mean, you talk about the European battle, but so Brentford, in 8th, that's the last European place, unless Chelsea win the FA Cup. If Chelsea win the FA Cup, it's just 7th. So Brentford in 8th, they're on 51. They're 3 points ahead of us, but with a miles better goal difference. We are not making up 12 goals in 2 games. No. In between them, you've got Fulham, you've got Everton and Chelsea. So we play Everton and Chelsea in 6-pointers. So, if we win both of those games, then the most points they can get to is 52. And we could get on to 54. Brentford, unfortunately, have Crystal Palace this weekend at home. And Crystal Palace...
They are...
Yeah, they've got
they're on the beach.
League. Well, they're not on the beach. They've got a game to worry about.
But that's the only thing they're worried about. They have absolutely zero interest in playing that game.
So I think Brentford probably win that game, and then on the final day, Brentford are at Liverpool. So I think the highest that Sunderland are going to finish.
Liverpool won't have anything to play for either.
No, but still, you would think Liverpool at home. It's not an easy game, is it? So I think the highest we can finish is 9th.
Bournemouth will deliberately lose to Brentford, to Liverpool on the last. Who are they playing? Brentford.
Brentford are playing Liverpool. Yeah. Away.
But I think Liverpool played Bournemouth before that. Somebody who will want to lose them. Although Brentford might want to lose them if they're in 6th. You never know. They can't get to 6th, can they?
I don't think so. So yeah, I think 9th is the highest that we can get this season. And I think
that's fine. That's fine. Come on the bet.
The lowest is 13th. So Sunderland are currently playing for about 10 million quid. That's the swing.
Well, I mean, half of her Trowder.
Yeah, half of her Trowder. Or a Robin Roofs or a Omar Alderete or whatever.
Indeed.
Else.
Yeah.
But yeah, right, let's talk a little bit about Everton, though. They've had a weird season, I think it's fair to say. I thought that Everton would probably have broken into the European places. I'm not to say they've got more of a chance than us because they can finish on 55 points if they win the last 2 games. But they've proper came off the boil in recent
Exactly
weeks.
Like us.
Yeah, exactly.
They are part of that middling group of teams who don't want to get into Europe and keep losing. Yeah. I mean, the form of Brentford, Chelsea, Everton, Fulham, Sunderland, and Newcastle have all been appalling in the last 6 games.
Do you think that it's a meant thing, or do you think that it's...
I don't know what it is.
Because you would think that they would want to get into Europe.
Well, I mean, they do, for sure. But I just don't really understand it. So if you could take the last 5 games of Brentford, Chelsea, Everton, Fulham, Sunderland and Newcastle, that's 7 teams. And in those last, out of those 35 games, 1, 2, 3, those teams have won 4 out of 35 games, which is staggering for teams all in the middle and top half of the table. It's bizarre. Who are you losing to and why? I mean, it doesn't seem like there are enough other teams to lose to in
But
those times.
it's a weird table, though, isn't it? Because if you look at the other end, you've
Yeah,
got Forest have won 3, Leeds have won 3, Tottenham have
yeah,
won 2, West Ham have won 2. So like the teams at the bottom, which is why we're having a high points total to survive this season.
yeah.
It's probably going to be 4. I think if you get, I don't know, because I could see West Ham winning at Newcastle this weekend and beating Leeds on the final day. So I think it's not unrealistic to see West Ham finish on
Sure,
42 points.
surely all of us want to see, even Newcastle want to see their West Ham win.
Well, I think from Newcastle's delusions of grandeur, they would probably view Tottenham as Tottenham next season, if you think they get their ducks in a row, will be better. So you probably want to kill off a rival, don't you?
Well, I think that's why we would like Tottenham to go down, because West Ham are an easier prospect to beat. If
Yeah,
Southampton
I
don't
would
get
agree.
thrown out, if Southampton don't get thrown out of the playoffs, they might well come up with a starting penalty of points. So everybody's got to look around and say, let's boot Spurs, please. So if you're
What
Newcastle, surely you want to lose. You want to lose to West Ham.
as an aside, can we just get an assessment on where we think that Southampton? What do you think should happen with Southampton Middlesbrough?
Well, the problem is that this is the precedent case. There isn't another one. When Bielsa did it with Leeds, he spied on, I think it was Derby, was it? I can't remember. Some
That was
years
a
ago.
league. That was a league game as well,
It
not a
was a
playoff
league
game.
game, and it was in January, and it didn't necessarily have consequences. But they fined him enormously then, and
Yeah,
as a result of that, they wrote Rule 127 because there
there's
wasn't a
two
rule at that
rules,
point.
isn't there? There's two rules.
There's two, but there wasn't a rule at that point. So at that point, it said it would be ungentlemanly to do this or unsporting. But so they wrote a rule that said you cannot go observing people 72 hours before a game, something like that. So that rule was written after Bielsa. The problem is they didn't write in what the sanction would be if you broke it. And I mean, the sanction has got to be more than a massive. I think Leeds got fined £200,000 or
Yeah,
something.
it was 200,000.
So it's the fine. It's the sanction has to be more than that, because now you've said that's wrong, and here's a rule. So the sanction has to be more than that. But if you're Southampton and you get promoted, you could triple that fine, and who would care?
Well, that's why I think that for me,
Yeah,
the only thing you can do is just kick them out of the playoffs, because I seen that they could get a points deduction. Apparently now, because of Leicester. Do you know when Leicester came up and they had
yeah,
shenanigans to avoid points deductions? But apparently now the EFL and the Premier League can agree to points deductions that carry over. So it is possible that you could do that.
yeah,
But I still don't think giving Southampton a 3-point deduction in the Premier League is fair, because Middlesbrough have been totally wronged. So like
that's right.
Middlesbrough
Yeah,
are the complete victim of this, and we can say that, well, did it make a difference? They still should have scored in the first leg. But the reality is Southampton found out that Hayden Hackney wasn't training. They found out what the tactical shape was, potentially what set piece routines and stuff. So they've got a massive advantage, and the only way I think you can punish them is to kick them out. And I think if it happened for a league game, you would just give an automatic 3 points to the team that was thingied, and you would take so the result would be nullified, and you would just give
yeah.
the win to the other
They
team.
they gave a Sheffield Wednesday had a 3-0 loss awarded against them earlier this season. Was it, or was it last
Did
season?
they?
I can't remember. I think they did. I can't remember what it was. Or something years ago.
It happened in
Someone,
Middlesbrough, if you remember.
maybe it was Middlesbrough then. I can't
Middlesbrough
remember.
against
Someone's had a
Blackburn.
3-0 win. Was it that then?
Yeah, that was in the mid-90s.
Oh, yes,
Where
that's right. They said they didn't have enough people to play a game or something.
yeah, Borough had reached out to the Premier League and said, we've got illness in the camp, can we postpone the
Yeah,
game? And the
they said
Premier
no.
League were like, yeah, it should be fine. And then the Premier League were then like, no, it's not fine, you're being deducted points.
Yeah.
Da, 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 da.
So, look, I don't think that a fine will be enough, because you could, in that situation, just say, I don't care what the fine is, because I'm going to get £100 million. So fine me whatever you like. I don't care. It's worth it. So it has to be a deterrent. So I think it has to be, sorry, you don't get the place in the playoffs. But it's mad. How do you
Yeah.
resolve that? Sell tickets, organise travel, and promote
Well,
anything,
what's
or train and plan for your game if no one knows who's playing who?
Well, what's interesting is that last season, so Sunderland beat Coventry on the 13th, my birthday. last season, and Sunderland had announced the tickets by 10 a.m. 10 a.m. the next
Sorry.
day. So that was like within 12 hours. There has been no ticket announcement. So Southampton yesterday said that there would be ticket news coming out on yesterday evening. That those posts have since been deleted, and they were like, "Oh, it's because we have to wait for Hull." But why isn't the information being released now? Considering the game is not the
I
Saturday
mean,
coming, the Saturday after.
who do Hull City prepare to play? I mean, they have no
Yeah, well,
idea.
that's the thing. Like,
Yeah,
it's an absolute shambles. Anyway, let's
it is. Back to Everton.
yeah, back to Everton. So when we played them in January in the FA Cup, Everton were very injured and we were very AFCON-y. We did play
Yeah,
pretty well there and deserved to win the game. We got robbed by an awful refereeing decision, but I don't think we can necessarily learn anything from
I
that
learnt that
meeting.
James Garner is an excellent player. That's what I learnt that day.
Yeah, yeah, he is. He's
I
a very
learnt there are
good
not
player.
enough toilets on the concourse in the Hill Dickinson, and that it's pretty crammed. Uh, and other than
Not a
that, I had
fan.
an. The stadium itself is the best new stadium in the country. Inside the bowl, it's tremendous. Great atmosphere, great view. But when you're on the concourse trying to get something to eat or go to the toilet, there's just not enough of that. I think the Everton fans feel the same about that themselves. But inside the bowl, tremendous stadium, better than Spurs. I went to them back to back this season, and lucky me.
Yeah.
So it was. Yeah, it's great, lovely place, and the hospitality, in the city. I found all of the Everton Liverpool fans really friendly. I had a great time. It's the first time I'd been away to Liverpool. I'd been to Everton games, like cup games, just ducking into the city and ducking out on a midweek evening. You've got to get back for
Yeah.
work or whatever it is the next day. But that was the first time I'd sort of stayed there for a whole day or two. And it was great. Loved it. So I'm a fan of the stadium inside the bowl, not the rest of it. I
Yeah.
learnt that James Garner's an excellent footballer, and that's about it. They don't like Barry or Beto, although Beto seems to have improved a bit lately.
He's very hot and cold Beto though. He like has runs where he scores
Uh,
6 and 10, and then he'll have a run where he scores 1 and 10. Like he's just that is what
they
he is.
do they do have some significant injuries though. So Grealish won't play, he was a difference maker when we played them earlier in the season.
Yeah,
Jared Branthwaite is out, and
yeah,
given that they have conceded 11 goals in the last 5 games, losing him it compounds that problem. So I think we will score. We've been playing very well and aggressively the last few games. Last 4 games, I think we've been playing aggressively. I've probably deserved. Well, take the Notts Forest game out. We've deserved some higher scores if people can finish. And maybe this will be the weekend when that all comes off. So I do think we'll score. They have problems keeping the net. And then, fingers crossed, who knows if Idrissa Gueye is going to be fit to play or not. I mean, it's touch and go. I don't know if you know any more than I do. But I've
I've
been to
just
my favourite website of Premier
same.
injuries. But we have to wait for the press conference from Moyes to find out if he's going to be past fit to play. But they will want to win. They'll be desperate to win because they can get a European place, maybe.
Well, last weekend against Palace, bearing in mind Palace are, they've got their eyes on a European final. They drew 2-2. They on the stats. I can't say I didn't watch the game in full, but on the stats, they definitely were the weaker team. So like, I don't think this is this is a winnable away game in the
It
Premier
is.
League. That's something that you've got to take advantage of when they come up. I feel like Sunderland have had, I don't know, I feel like we've played like a lot of difficult games recently, just like annoying games that are just a
Yeah.
pain. We went to Wolves, we probably would have won. We had the red card. Man United last week, we should have won, didn't get it over the line. I feel like we've probably in the last couple of weeks been a little bit unlucky with how the fixtures and stuff have played out. We played Forest at a mad time where they were just, they beat Chelsea, was it 3-0 or 3-1 the next weekend
Yeah.
and stuff. Like, we played them at a weird time. They scored every shot that they took as well. I mean, not that they didn't deserve to win, but, they did. That was the
Yeah.
reality. So, I don't know. I feel like I'm hoping that this weekend we can see Sunderland put it all together because we've been really close. Against Man United, I thought we were good going forward and we were good defensively, and we haven't strung those two things together really recently. And I'm hoping that this weekend we can string together the solid defensive play along with being creative and getting chances and in looking like we're going to score goals. So I'm hoping it all comes together. I'm not holding my breath for
Well,
it.
no, I feel the same. I did want to talk briefly about the fact that they're in a new stadium, magnificent as I think it is. New stadiums are difficult places for teams,
They
and
are.
they don't often have uh, success there. And they took, the atmosphere is a bit strange. And you think about our experience at the Stadium of Light. It's taken a bit of time to decide where are the away fans going, where's going to be the singing section, uh, and those, the idea of the Roker end being mad, the clock stand paddocks being, a little bit safer, and the full end being singing and all that sort of stuff. Those things have yet to be established in a new stadium. It takes several years to move around, and it can affect the atmosphere and stuff. So I do think that that perhaps might be a slight advantage to us. I think every team that moves to a new stadium has done worse than the season before.
Yes, I have done a
Except
video
for
on
Middles,
this.
you've done it, have you? Well, you
Yeah,
can tell us then.
I did a video on it in the summer before they moved in, but pretty
Yeah,
much every team that's moved into a new stadium in the Premier League era has done worse. So this is
yeah,
when they've moved from when they're in the Premier League. So Sunderland doesn't count because I think we actually did struggle when we moved to the stadium, like to be fair, but we don't count because we were Premier League to Championship. But ones like Southampton who went from the Dell to St Mary's, they
yeah,
really struggled on the move. I think Derby went from the baseball ground to the Pride Park. They really struggled. Man City, when they first moved into the City of Manchester Stadium, as it was at the time, they
yeah.
struggled. Arsenal's home form dipped when they moved.
Just, just,
Tottenham,
just on a,
I think Tottenham
just
actually
on
did
that.
okay.
Well, they've moved to Wembley a little bit, but their final season, I think
Yeah,
they won 17 games, and in their new stadium now, they have the second worst home
yeah,
record in all of the top 5 leagues.
yeah. It's
Only
bad.
Wolves have a
Two.
worse home
Is
record.
it 2 home wins this season?
Well, I think Wolves must have only one then. But in the top 5 leagues of all of Europe, they're the second worst
I
in
think
that fantastic new stadium.
Wolves got them 2 wins back to back against Liverpool and Villa, so it's probably just draws.
Everton's new stadium, away form, they are 9th in the league, and home form, they are 13th in the league. So, that's in the last 6. No, that's the last 6. Sorry. I wonder if I can do the whole season.
Go on,
Yeah,
you
I'm on
do
the
that.
fishy. I'm on the fishy because they do form tables, don't they?
Yeah, I don't think they do though. The full at home and away tables because
They
that's
do.
annoyed us before. Oh, they do.
They
Oh,
do.
very good.
They do. So, full away table. Everton are 6th in away games and are 13th in home games. So a stark difference there.
Mm.
They are 4th in the division for clean sheets, 4th for goals conceded, as in not many.
Yeah,
In fact, they're fourth equal with Sunderland for not conceding very many. So they are tight. And yet, Branthwaite's injured and they've conceded 11 in the last 5. So if their success is based upon their defensive solidity, then we've got a chance here because we've
yeah,
been more aggressive and they are a bit weaker in that regard. Expect lots of long balls.
yeah.
Expect. I don't think we'll have to pack the midfield like we did against Man United. We won't have to seal off a creative force in the middle trying to play the balls. That's why we packed the midfield against Man United. So we won't have to do that. So expect a slightly different lineup, maybe. Watch me be wrong.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, we have to win. There's no doubt that we have to win. There's no point in getting a draw. So surely Regis goes out and plays an aggressive team with 2 wingers, maybe even 2 up front. Who knows? What if there is
No.
literally nothing else to lose apart from £2 million for a spot? And my bet,
Yeah,
and
and
I
your
want to win.
bet, which is the big thing.
Yeah.
Is it fair to say that Everton are gonna lump the ball towards a big forward and then press the second ball? Is that
Yes.
basically what we're
Yeah.
gonna see here?
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly what they're going to do. I mean, if Gay doesn't play, and then without him and Grealish, they've lost a lot of their sort of skill to move the ball through the middle and down the flanks and stuff. So their options would be to pump it longer. They are 5th in the division for accurate long balls, so it's clearly a focus of their play. So yes, and whichever of their forwards they play are massive, tall lumps. Tierno, Barry, and Beto. So yeah, that's how they're going to play. So we will need. I mean, it might be the same back four. It might not. We would certainly need Hume. We certainly need Mukiele and Alderete on form at the back. Might we need some pace on the flanks? I don't know. Do you play five at the back against a team where there's going to be less concentration in the midfield, or do you say, well, that gives us the license to run the ball through the midfield, which we've looked good at lately?
Yeah, I would. I mean, we'll do our lineups and stuff later, but I would
Yeah,
guess that Sunderland will. I think the way of beating this Everton team is to exploit the fact that the centre backs are not. That the centre backs are physical and strong. You put the ball into Brobby though, who's also physical and strong. But I think you've got to beat them by playing clever passes and trying to play through the lines. I think a long ball game here from Sunderland doesn't really make all that much sense. So I think Lefay is critical. Jacques is critical. It's about getting them on the ball
yeah,
to feed passes to players, and our players being clever and intelligent with their runs and exploiting what is largely a pretty slow defense.
yeah.
Everton will probably sit back as well. They aren't gonna play a high line, so I don't think Wilson Isidore makes any sense in this game. They're not gonna
No,
set up so that we can run in behind. So I think you've
no.
got to use Brobby as a hold up, but you need to have
Well,
players trying to run in behind and cute
yeah.
little runs, and getting Lefay on the ball is critical.
I think that means. I think that means that we're not going to get any fouls or penalties because Bobby's playing and referees say you can look after yourself. So
That's true. It's
if
gonna
there's a
be a
physical
shameful.
battle with the back line, yeah, it'll be shameful bias against someone just because he's a big looking lad. They won't give obvious fouls, and so he's got to work harder. It must be deeply frustrating and annoying for him.
In terms of players to worry about, Illiman and Die, I think he's a brilliant footballer.
Yeah, he is.
I
Well, he
think
scored against us in the home game,
yeah,
didn't he?
I just think that he is
Terrific goal.
though. Every time I watch him, I think, wow, like he's a really really handy footballer, and he'll obviously be against Ronaldo.
Is that the best? Is that the best goal that the opposition has scored at the
No,
Stadium of Light this season?
um, ooh,
It's got to be up there.
yeah, it probably is. I can't think of another one because I mean we've had like the odd scream, Matty Cash, but that was I think it deflected, didn't it? The Matty Cash one.
Yeah, I think but anyone can like lash a ball from out there,
Yeah,
and
I think that
obviously,
was the best individual
yeah,
goal. But I'd said that he's going to be playing. It looks like they've been playing him on the left recently, so he'll be up against whoever we've got right back, if that's Hertrauda or Trey Hume or whoever else. So
yeah.
yeah, that's an interesting battle. I think if you can keep him quiet, you've got a very good chance. I mean, I know Dewsbury Hall's a good player. He's another one to probably watch out for.
Yeah.
But pretty much if you keep them nullified, you've got a pretty decent chance of winning.
Well, yeah, let's hope so. But pumping those long balls up, we've been pretty good. We were excellent against Man United at winning second balls, so I think we can compete there. But Lord help us if we have to suffer lots of corners against us, because that's not been a strength.
Yes.
In fact,
That's
Lord help us if we get any corners ourselves, because we can't seem to hit them particularly well.
Well, we scored one recently. We scored against Wolves.
Yes, yeah. Well, what an achievement!
Yeah, what an
Scoring at
achievement.
Wolves. Yeah.
Right. I think we've probably run out of things to talk about for this, but we'll do our lineup and prediction. So check that out on the Patreon when that's uploaded. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.